Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blacklist Universe. I am your host, Mike S. Miller, 32, coming up on 33-year professional comic book illustrator for such companies as Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, blah, blah, blah. They're all out there, and I've worked for pretty much all of them. Now, best known probably for my Injustice work, but I have drawn the Hulk, actually. I drew an issue of Hulk with, not the whole issue, but a partial issue of Hulk with John Byrne as the writer back in 1999. That was fun. That was probably... Okay, it wasn't the only time I've ever drawn the Hulk for Marvel, but it was the only official Hulk issue that I did. Yeah, and that was fun. I got to work with my childhood favorite artist slash writer, John Byrne, who has since sort of retired from the field. I don't know why that is. Maybe he didn't leave comics. Comics left him. He is a bit of a red-pilled conservative fellow. So maybe he just got, I don't know. He's been spending his time on his own doing commissions and drawing a subsequent X-Men story to his run on X-Men on his own website. It's Burn Robotics. I don't know. You can look it up if you're interested. It's pretty cool. I haven't read the whole thing, but he has not stopped drawing comics. He's just stopped drawing them for the pros. Kind of like me. I'm still working on my own comic books. Lone Star is the series that I'm currently in production on. You can check that out in the description at lonestarcomic.com, where it's about a World War II veteran who's given a second chance at life and becomes sort of an immortal, fighting the monsters that go bump in the night. And he fights it with a team of other super soldiers called the Unknown Soldiers. They all have their powers, but their mission is to work in a deep secret program to fight the evils of the world. The story unfolds throughout the pages of Lone Star, Heart of the Hero, Soul of the Soldier, Mind of the Monster, available now at lonestarcomic.com. I should be fulfilling that campaign within the next few months, hopefully, as I am working on a sequel project right now called Nobody's Business. Yeah, the goal here at Blacklist Universe isn't just to entertain you with these videos. Ultimately, my goal is to build an entire intellectual property collection so that, someday movies, TV, video games, the whole gamut of the multimedia spectrum is what I want to be working in, to create properties that have the right moral integrity and sort of traditional takes on superheroes, not the deconstructed heroes that we've seen time and time again. Really, ever since I was a youth, Dark Knight and Watchmen and Wild Cards, they sort of banked a hard left in the comic field where they were so popular that people started just regularly deconstructing heroes and sort of weakening the foundation of what a hero is supposed to be. Like questioning why would people do good things, sacrificial things for other people for no other reason than good. So, ultimately, there is no good reason. I don't know. I think that's all been part and parcel of this entire cultural collapse. I'm not going to say that necessarily they were, cultural Marxists taking over the comic book industry back then, although... To be fair, I've talked to Chuck Dixon about this, and really even back then, most of the editors at Marvel, they were leftists. And he was saying that, but it was in a time when you could be a Democrat or a Republican, you still could work together. Mm-hmm. It wasn't this vitriolic hate fest that you see today. You see, they've done polling and whatnot with people from the left and from the right, and they're like, have you given up friendships? Have you stopped talking to family because you disagree with their politics? And it's like, it's not every single one is a Democrat, but the majority of them are, and it didn't used to be that way. It used to be you could come sit around Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner, and just, sure, it might get contentious or whatever, but you're not going to just get up and walk out of Christmas dinner because you disagree about who the president is. And so it's become so poison and so vitriolic that, yeah, this happens on the right too. I'm not excusing anybody that does this. It's like, oh, I don't want to talk to you anymore because you don't agree with my politics. You can't agree 100% with anybody's politics. I hate to break it to you. Everyone is an individual, and everyone has their own take on something or other. And yeah, sit down, have a cup of coffee, break bread, have a burrito, have Christmas dinner, have a New Year's celebration. Talk about it. Figure out why one person thinks one way and the other person thinks the other way. You don't have to just end relationships because you can't come to an agreement on when life begins, on who should be in the country, on what the government should spend money on, right? All of these things, most of those things have nothing to do with your day-to-day life. Most of those things have nothing to do with almost anything in your life in any given day. I mean, there's economic policies that affect all of our lives, and for Pete's sake, it may confuse some people, and that's the thing. You know what? That's even like economic policies. People have been trained to think a certain way. They don't even teach Austrian economics in college generally. So Austrian economics, Adam Smith, Thomas Sowell, Friedrich Hayek, Milton Friedman, you don't hear these names in colleges. Their basic understanding of economics is just the natural order of the free market and how people have traded value since the dawn of humankind. It's just the natural order of how people perceive value and trade that value, right? And somehow or another, John Maynard Keynes comes along and usurps all economic theory in our schools so that they don't even teach the argument anymore. They just teach Keynesian economics, which is, I don't know if I'd call it, it's not communism per se, but it's, you know what? This is not an economics course. My point. Sorry, I don't script these things. In case you didn't notice, I just kind of get on the microphone, I watch my video, and I start to ramble. I don't have a lot to say about the Hulk here because I'm not really fixing him. I'm not changing a lot about him because they didn't get him wrong in Marvel Rivals. Okay, so the two things I thought could have been tweaked, you're seeing now. First of all, if Bruce Banner knows for a fact that he's going to be changing into the Hulk on the fly or at will, whatever, he's going to wear some sort of pants that don't rip. So the fact that you give him ripped pants, it's great. It's a callback to the original Hulk, but it doesn't make any sense in the story, right? He would wear something with, like, Fantastic Four has clothes that have what they call unstable molecules. So Mr. Fantastic can stretch and his costume stays on. The Human Torch can flame on and his costume stays on. All right, the Invisible Woman turns invisible and her costume goes invisible with her. Well, here you go. Have some unstable molecule pants, Bruce Banner, so that you can change into the Hulk and back, and you won't have to buy a fresh pair of pants every single time. It just makes a little bit more sense, considering the fact that we're dealing with a Banner that knows he's the Hulk, a Banner that knows he's transforming into the Hulk in order to do the fighting in the game and whatnot. And then the second thing I did, well, I gave him a standard, more of a Hulk. I don't want to call it a dad bod, but I just made him thick throughout, which seemed kind of inconsistent with all the different art that I've seen for Rivals. And sometimes they gave him a real V-shaped body, which to me doesn't make sense for the Hulk, but sometimes they give him the thicker build, and that I do appreciate. So that was my consistent line here. I'm going with that traditional build on the Hulk, and then there you see the one difference, the bigger difference. Obviously, I say bigger because it's his belt, his Mech Tech belt. Banner wears this belt, and then the Hulk gets big, and the belt stays the same size, which that makes perfect sense. It'll expand, like it's elastic. So you could do this for a freaking metal belt, but you can't do it for the pants. Okay, that doesn't make sense. But anyways, I figure if we're living in a Marvel universe where Iron Man's suit can emanate from a watch on his wrist, then his belt can grow in size, right? It can be the same nanotech type belt, and it just grows to become bigger, sturdier, because obviously it's on the Hulk. He's going to be doing a lot of smash damage, impact damage all over the place. So I made it bigger and sturdier. And I think it just, I don't know, it looks better on this massive hulking character because it's more like a gladiator belt or a wrestling belt or something, so sort of matches his girth, and it's a better balance for me personally. And then I gave him sort of more or less the classic Hulk hairdo because I don't like when Hulk has like a freaking coif or his hair is neat and kept. Well, he's the Hulk. He's a Hulk. He should not have neat, kempt hair when he's transformed into the Hulk. So these are sort of the very small, minor details that I didn't fix. I changed. My perception of the Hulk is very much based on classic Marvel Hulk, and so that's what I went with. Now let's get back to economics. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm still in the Christmas spirit. I got my Santa Claus sweater on right now, and okay, I grant you, it is a Trump Santa Claus sweater, but that's beside the point. I'm still in the generous feeling nature of the holidays, and I don't want this country to be divided anymore. I want our country to be united. You know, I miss my leftist family who think I'm psychotic because I'm a Trump supporter. I have one relative who I love dearly who told someone else they're afraid to hang out with a Trump supporter, which is just the dumbest thing. I had another one who just straight up told me they're afraid of me now because I'm a Trump supporter. And it's like, I'm exactly the same person as I have been the entire time you've known me for the last 3 decades. And now you're going to say you're afraid of me because I'm a Trump supporter. You have been sucking at the teat of MSNBC and your leftist cabal of friends for entirely too long. People should know better who their friends and their family are. Just because you disagree with them politically does not make them evil. It does not make them, German socialists. I'll put it that way so I don't get struck off of YouTube. They're still your friends and family. You still agree on probably 90% of everything you ever talk about. Just you agree about some political stuff here and there. You probably don't even disagree about that as much as you think you do, or as the media tells you to, right? The media in this country is completely one-sided. And so that's why if you are on the right, I'm on the right, okay? And if you are on the right, you have to give a little bit of grace to the people on the left because for most of our lives, all we had was ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, right? That was the news for most of it. Well, I'm a Gen Xer, so that for the most of us, that was the news. And we had to trust they were telling us the truth, right? And then along came Fox News, and they become the number one channel because they're giving us both sides of the story instead of just the left side of the story. But a lot of people, they because, I don't know, maybe this tirade's going on a little bit too long. I just want everybody to love each other. Disagree agreeably. Enjoy your friends and your family, regardless of the stuff you disagree upon. And when you disagree, just realize you're talking to somebody you love, and don't let your political leanings destroy the love you have for your family or your friends. I guess that's it. I hope you enjoyed this rendition of the Hulk. Like I said, it's a little bit different, but it's they got it pretty right on Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals, I'll give you a thumbs up on your Hulk, except for the pants and the belt. So, anyways, like, subscribe, share if you haven't already. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, and if you're enjoying the Hanukkah season right now, enjoy that too. And if you're one of those people that enjoys the Marxist celebration called Kwanzaa, then hey, enjoy your Kwanzaa. I don't care. I mean, not that there aren't a dozen actual African holidays you could celebrate instead of this made-up Marxist holiday. I don't know. Whatever. It's up to you. No qualms on my end if you want to enjoy a made-up holiday. Have at it. Have fun. But to everyone, at least everyone who celebrates on the Julian calendar, Happy New Year, and may your next year be a blessed one.